Hello, I'm glad you could join us today. Today we're going to do something that's a little bit different from the ones we usually do. As you all know, I like to paint a lot of trees and mountains, but one of my favorite things is sci-fi, space themes. So as you can see, here on my canvas, we've already got a planet going. And this was done by a friend of mine named Blake Davis. He does a lot of spray paint art. And we've been talking about it, doing something together for a while. So I asked him to do me a planet. And we're going to do the sky here, do a little moon surface. Should have tightened up my canvas better. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I don't knock it off on the floor. Just loosen this up. Push up and tighten. Now, what you're seeing me do right now is I'm putting on a thin coat of a painting medium. We usually use liquid white as a medium, but for this, we don't want liquid white. That would cover up our black sky we got. This basically serves the same purpose as liquid white. It makes the paint move around the canvas very easy, and lets your colors move, and it'll actually cause them to dry faster. Seems kind of counterintuitive, but it's true. And it's going to make all this look very glossy, which is nice because I kind of used a flat black paint on it. And I'm going to go down to the palette real quick. I have this set up. This is the medium I'm using. It's made by Gamblin'. It says it's a safflower oil and alkyd painting medium. So if you want to try this, that's the stuff you want. But there's a lot of different kinds. You can use any kind you want. That one was actually given to me by our sponsor, Blick Art Materials. They've been a huge help in bringing this show to you for the past 2 seasons. And just like when we were putting on the liquid white, we don't really want to use too much of this because it can kind of make a mess. Just want a thin coat of it. Alright, we got that completed. So I'm just going to set this to the side. Just kind of get the extra off my brush. Alright, it looks like from this angle we have a pretty bad glare, so I'm going to see what I can do about it. There we go. Moving the canvas a little bit. Let's see how it looks from there now. Alright. Sorry about that. Before I put that on there, it didn't have a glare. Alright, we got that done. And now I'm going to go down to my palette, and we're going to get a little bit of maybe phthalo blue, just a small amount. I can move this out of the way. Alright, small amount of phthalo blue. We're going to come back up and just start putting some of it up into our sky. This is a transparent oil color, so you won't see it unless you put some white over it, or there's some white under it, which you can see these stars down here are turning blue, which is exactly what we want. And now I'm going to go back down to the palette again and make some purple, just mixing together a little blue with a larger amount of the alizarin crimson. A dark color. And we'll go back up and do the same thing. And as you can see, some of these little stars we've already got painted on here with spray paint, they're picking up the color there, and that's going to be nice. I'm going to go back and put more stars, so it's okay if these get covered a little bit. We don't want to cover them all up. And we want to be careful not to cover up this planet. So I'm just going to go around it, making sure I don't hit it. Now maybe get a little bit of sap green put in there. Just different colors all throughout the sky. All of these colors are transparent. And now we're gonna maybe get another little brush and see, get a little bit of white here. Just very, very small amount of white. I'm just getting on a 1-inch brush. And I'm gonna go through and I'm just gonna dab some white in a couple of places. This looks kind of ridiculous right now, but once we get it done, you'll see what we're doing. See what we got going on. All right, now I'm gonna go back and clean my brush that I used to put on the colors the first time, just by rubbing it across my screen and the bottom of my paint thinner brush. And just beat off the excess paint into the bucket. And just to make sure it's clean, I'm going to go back over it and rub it. You're never going to get all the color out of this brush, but you can get most of it, so you can see it's not leaving much of a mark on the paper towel, and that's close enough. You do want to be careful when you're working with colors like yellow or white and you use something like blue before, or black, because it's just going to turn green. Alright, now that we got this in here, we're gonna start blending these colors up and down, just making streaks across. And we're gonna go back and put a little bit more white in there. And what we're doing here, we're kind of making a galaxy, something like the Milky Way. When you look up in the sky and it's really dark, you see the Milky Way sometimes when you're really far outside the city. And so do the same thing again, blend up, just come across. And this is streaking all across the sky, and that's okay. It's going to help put a little color into the sky. We're going to go back and really do a lot of painting on this, so we'll put more, make it a little more defined as we go on. Down at the bottom, we're going to have the surface of a moon, so we're not too much worried about that part. You know, a lot of times people come up to me after I've painted some of these and they want to buy the paintings. Well, this one, it's mine. So this one's not for sale. I'm going to hang this one up on my bedroom wall. I'm just going all the way across to kind of blend out some of these lines that we got in here. You can probably see a few of the streaks, just blending them out. So it looks uniform all the way across. And I don't have enough of the color on the canvas to cover up the planet, so it's okay to just get a little bit of it on it. See all that white we put on there? In the end, it just turned out to be a little haze going across the sky. But that's exactly what we want. Seems like a lot of work for nothing, doesn't it? It'll be worth it when the painting's finished. It'll look really nice, I think. And as I said before, we're going to have a planet surface down at the bottom, so I'm not going to focus on that too much. I'm just going to focus more on the top. Alright, now that we're done with that, we're going to get a little bit of our liquid white. See, I end up using it in just about every painting, even if I'm not using it as a medium. Just a thin white paint. You could even mix titanium white with that medium that we talked about earlier. That would make a very nice substitute for liquid white. Alright, now I'm going to take my brush and dip it into the liquid white. And as you can see, I just got it there on the end of my brush. And I'm just going to spray some stars in here. Just like that. I mean, we already have quite a few from where I spray painted them on. But I want a lot of extra stars right here in this little section that's supposed to be a galaxy. More down here at the bottom. You know, what we're going to be doing is kind of a moon landscape, kind of like our moon. And it's the moon for this planet. And maybe a little more there, a little more there. And I'm going to come back and put some more right in this middle, because I really want a lot of stars through there to really show this is a dense galaxy, lots of stars close by, millions of stars. And we made them just by beating our brush against our palette knife. Alright. Now the first thing I'm going to do with the moon surface is go down and get a little bit of I don't know, maybe black. Maybe I'm mixing. Actually, that was blue. Blue, black, brown. Okay, kind of mix it all together. And we're going to come back up to the palette. And what I want to do here is kind of decide where I want my planet surface to be laid out. Looks like I need to blend in this medium here on the sides. Haven't worked with this before, but I really like the way it looks. Really glossy. I'm just kind of rubbing part of this out. We're going to want to cover all that with a dark color because... Alright, now I'm going to decide where I want my projections to be. Maybe I'll have a little projection of land that goes up right here. Maybe a real craggy sort of rock right there. And right now, this is very dark. I'm just painting black on black, so it's a little bit hard to see what I'm doing, but you can already see the light reflecting off of it, which you know, when I'm painting this, I'm seeing pretty much flat black, but because the studio lights, it looks like I've got a highlight on one side. I think that looks pretty good. So maybe when I come back, I'll put my highlight on that side. Alright. A little bit more going down here. Kind of like I do mountains. I just do a dark color. Got to have your dark color before you can put highlights on it. Alright, and on this side, another little jagged crater. Maybe the lip of a crater going down through here. As you can see, some of the stuff underneath is kind of showing through the paint a little bit. So I'm going to have to go back and do some extra work to cover that up. But right now we're just getting a basic layout of the land. Take my brush and go down into some of that same color I'm spreading here. And let's see, I'm going to spread it across the bottom. Cover all of that up. Put it on with a paint roller if you wanted to. We definitely want to make sure that we don't spread this stuff around, because we want to make sure we got some defined jagged edges there. And we're just kind of deciding the layout of the land. You know, as I'm painting this, it kind of reminds me of fog as these are coming down. And you know, just because you're on the moon, that doesn't mean there's no atmosphere. Maybe there's a little bit. Our moon doesn't have much of one, but you never know what this alien planet's moon might look like. So keep going with that. There we go. Let's see how it looks from... Oh yeah, that's right. We moved the canvas. So for this painting, we're mostly going to keep it on this angle so you all can see better. Alright, I'm going to get a little bit more. I got another jagged place here back in the background. So a little more paint. And if something's in the background, we can go ahead and drag the things that are in the foreground in front of it. There we go. And already we got something that's looking like a moon surface down here. Alright, I think the next we're gonna... First, let me clean off my palette knife. Got a little paint on there. And to do that, I don't really show this that much, so this is a good time to show it. I just take a napkin and just wipe the paint off. It comes right off, just like that. The more you wipe it, the more it comes off. I keep paper towels off to the side here to do that sort of thing. Alright, now I'm going to go into my black, a little bit of it, maybe put it over here to the side. Then I'm going to cut off some of my white. Mix it with the black. Maybe I'm going to get several different mixtures of that. Maybe a little more white in this one. Make some gray colors. And then one that's more white than the rest. There we go. Got a couple of different shades there. That should be enough. And again, I'll clean off my knife. I always clean off my knife after mixing paint, because you don't want to just spread that whole big gob of paint under your canvas. Alright, so I'm going to go and cut off a little roll of the light gray I just made. I'm going to come over here and kind of highlight this rock, just like I do when I'm painting mountains. And we'll just kind of let it flow down. If we have trouble getting the paint to come off, we just kind of shake the knife. We're doing a really light touch, no pressure here, just kind of letting the paint go where it wants. And let's see, maybe some of the darker color here. And you can do all sorts of shadows and highlights. I've decided that the light was coming from that direction, so I'm going to put all my highlights on this side. Okay, I'll go back and lighten this up a little bit. Alright. A little bit more here. Maybe we got another little projection coming down. And now I'm gonna start doing some of my shadow color, some of my darker color. Just kind of run it in the opposite direction. And when you're doing these, think of the way the mountain's going here. A little, kind of follow the direction the mountain's going down. This is where you lay out the shape of everything. And remember to just reload with paint often. You know, it's easiest if you do these in the background first and come forward. Of course, sometimes I forget to do that. Now you can do them however you like as long as you get the color on there. You know, I've actually had a request on our Facebook and YouTube channel from one of our fans who watched the show, and she wanted us to do a space painting. So it just so happens I had one ready to do. Alright, and I'm just putting more of that highlight color. With this color, you know, the other one I applied with a light touch. This one I'm gonna just kind of scrub it in where I want it. Maybe some of this is deeper in the shadows. Scrub in a little bit more. Now what I'm doing here, I'm just putting in some color. So I can come back with my brush. Just back and forth, kind of blending. Just land in. Maybe you'll be able to see more as it gets closer to you. Just blending it all together. Now, this back here, it's all in the shadows, so I'm going to leave it pretty dark, but maybe up here close to me there's a little bit more light, so I'm going to go get some lighter color. Put it in here. Maybe even just some pure white. There we go. Now this looks kind of a little bit too smooth, so I'm going to go put some little rocks and things in here. Just kind of drag the palette knife across, get some dark color. Go. And I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the other ones, just kind of blend them down, just like we're making a little miniature mountain. Leave the edge alone. Alright, I'm going to come back and get some of the light color. highlight in. Put a highlight on this side. Not much, just a little indication to show it's there. And I'm going to go back to blending. Just, when you're making these brush strokes, you're letting people know how the land goes. Alright, I'm going to step back and take a look at what we got for a second. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. So I think we're going to call this a finished painting. And we got finished a little bit early today. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go film a little bit of footage of Blake doing a painting so we can have him on the show. He does really amazing work. It's always very interesting stuff. This planet is just a really small part of what he does. You know, he does a lot of cityscapes with crazy planets all over them, volcanoes, pyramids. But yeah, we're gonna get him on the show, so I'm gonna film that and we'll put it here on the end. And also, I told you that we were filming a new music video, so I'm gonna put that on too at the end of the show. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you'll join us for our next episode. Our next episode, we're gonna do kind of a fall painting, very very soft, kind of like the one we did in episode 2 of this season, where we had the really soft trees and the clouds, and we're gonna do something like that because someone's asked me to do a cabin, and you all know if you've watched the show before, but that I'm terrible at cabins. But I think that this time we're gonna get it right. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Well, hello. I'm the Salem Painter, and today we have a very special guest for the show. My friend Blake Davis is going to demonstrate his spray paint art for us, and then tell us a little bit about himself.
Hi, my name is Blake Davis. I love to spray paint, and this skateboard glows in the dark. Haha. Alright, well, you just watched me spray paint. Now I did a coral underwater scene, and what I really started out was with the colors in any random pattern, pretty much, to get a little bit of a pattern for texture. Then I went over it with the blues, in the dark blue, in the light blue, and the white. That way I don't have to respray over them when I'm done. Then I let the colors dry, and then I went over them with gloss black and clear, because clear helps you to lift off the black just enough so you can see the vibrant colors underneath. Then I just finished it off with some white spray on top and scraped all the outsides for highlights. And that's just about it. If you have any questions, you can hit me up on Facebook at Davis Blake. Thanks.